At 1:23 a.m., April 26, 1986, the biggest nuclear disaster in human history was in motion. Near the Soviet town of Pripyat, Ukraine, was the Chernobyl RBMK nuclear power reactor. The reactor created power through fuel rods of uranium-235. When a neutron is added, fission occurs, and the uranium nucleus splits into krypton and barium isotopes, creating heat energy. Stray neutrons are also released, which continue the reaction. This energy heats water, creating steam, which moves a turbine to create power. To control the rate of fission, graphite control rods are used to absorb some neutrons, slowing down the reaction, and water is used to cool the system. The use of graphite was one of the flaws of the design. This is because it caused a graphite fire, which are infamous for being hard to put out. Inside, poorly trained workers were experimenting. They wanted to know if they could draw electricity from the reactor forward turbine to run coolant pumps during an emergency when the turbine was still spinning inertially. In order to do this, workers disabled emergency systems. Before the experiment, they wanted to lower the power, but ended up accidentally lowering it too much. So to try and bring it back up, they removed control rods. This caused more nuclear fission than expected, making more steam, which blew the top off the reactor. When the lid came off, all products of the fission reactions were released. The main radioisotopes released were solid tellurium-132, iodine-131, and gaseous xenon-133. The impacts of the Chernobyl incident were disastrous. Large quantities of radioactive substance were released for about 10 days after the disaster. 125,000 square kilometers of land in Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia were contaminated, including farmland. Many livestock was born deformed in subsequent years, and one radionuclide in particular, cesium-137, lingers in the soil and can be taken by plants and livestock, posing a threat to human health. Furthermore, the World Wide Health Organization were responsible for a 2005 Chernobyl Forum study concluding that the only major health impact was a rise in thyroid cancer 14 years after the disaster. The day after the incident, 45,000 residents evacuated the area, and by 1 month, 116,000 had left. In the past few years, a sarcophagus has been made to cover up remains, and the Pripyat ghost town is now being used as a tourist attraction. Radiation levels have decreased, and the area is inhabited by thousands. The Chernobyl accident was the largest artificial radioactive release in history, and the amount of radiation released was equal to 200 times the radiation of Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined.